দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ চ্যানেল 24 এর বিশেষ আয়োজন মুখোমুখিতে। প্রতিবার মুখোমুখিতে আমরা একজন বিশেষ অতিথি নিয়ে আমাদের প্রোগ্রামটা শুরু করি। আজকে আমাদের সাথে বিশেষ অতিথি হিসেবে আছে গ্রামীণফোনের সিইও পেটার ফারবার্গ। ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো।
Thank you.
Congratulations, it's been 20 years in Bangladesh. So how's the journey?
I'm lucky to be here now in the time when Grameenphone is celebrating 20 years, and we've tried to look back in terms of what these pioneers did when they came together. People from Bangladesh, people from Norway, having the vision that they could create a mobile company similar to what you saw was emerging in the US and in Europe. And they had a vision which I think very few people believed in. I talked to some of the founders some weeks ago, and they told me that the first business plan for Grameenphone indicated maximum 300,000 customers. And today we are closing 300,000, and now we're closing in on almost 60 million customers. Yes. So it's been a journey which I think is phenomenal, and it's a credit to the people that actually believe that this would be possible, and that every individual in this world deserves to have a mobile phone, that could also enrich people's lives. But thinking back is probably not what we are focusing mainly on. 20 years is the change from being a teenager to an adult life, and our telecom industry is changing quite tremendously at the moment, which is also what we are thinking a lot about. How do we take Grameenphone forward to the next 20 years? I don't think we have the answers to what we will be in the next 20 years, but we are making a lot of bets on new areas where we need to venture into to grow Grameenphone even further.
Right. So if we look back 10 years back, there was only few people who used Grameenphone. Now it's more than you have imagined. Any of you have imagined 20 years back. But as you see, the mobile phone is not, it's a part of regular life. Like we get our mails, we do our work. So keeping that thing in mind, do you think Grameenphone still, or do you have the ability to provide all the facilities to all the people? Because still people are complaining they don't get called regularly, calls are cutting when you're talking to somebody, and the call drop is there, so stuff is like that. Are you satisfied in 20 years giving service by the demand of the people?
Yeah, I think Bangladesh as a country has actually developed a lot on the basis of what the telecom operators have done. And that's not just Grameenphone. The fact that we have a very tough competition in the market with 3 big operators and 2 smaller ones is what's given Bangladesh low prices on both data and voice. And it's driven, I think now around 130 million SIM cards in the market in a country with 160 million people. Still, we believe that because people have multiple SIM cards, so most customers have 1 or 2 SIM cards from different operators, there's still growth. Our estimate is that 55% to 60% of the people have SIM cards unconnected, but we still believe that we can grow it further. And that's why there will be more growth. Are we delivering good enough always? Not. But that's what we are sort of working hard on every day. We're covering close to 100% of the country with 2G. With 3G, we are around 90%. But indoor is still a challenge when it comes to 3G quality. And that's also something we're working with the government to give us the ability to use our spectrum, our frequencies, where we're sending the signals in such a way that we can provide the same quality of 3G that we have on 2G.
Right. But what about the call drops and other complaints?
Yeah. First of all, the call drops are very low in international standards in Bangladesh. And Grameenphone is clearly one of the best operators if you compare us to also international benchmarks. But we acknowledge that particularly when people shifted from 2G to 3G, there is an increase in terms of people's perceived quality. And that comes back to my point about indoor quality is difficult with the frequencies that we have been allowed to use for 3G. We are in discussions with the government about technology neutrality. If we get that, we will be able to use the same frequencies that we have for 2G also on 3G. And that will enhance the reach of our signal, and it will reduce significantly the quality issues that some people feel on 3G today.
Okay, then you're trying to say that things will be, that you will have no complaints someday. I believe you. But as we have heard that Grameenphone is taking care of all the customers by their call center, but recently probably you have introduced some other people who are not directly employee of the Grameenphone who are trying to provide proper customer service, but there is a lot of complaint. Are you aware of that fact, and are you working on that issue as well?
First of all, call center is an important part of the service that we provide to people, and we take almost 100,000 calls on a daily basis through the call centers. Complaints when it comes to network or products is a very, very small part of it. And last year, because of really focused work of the people in Grameenphone, we reduced our number of complaints to call center with 75%. The second part of your question is really how do we run call centers? And there is a general trend across the globe in terms of call centers being a service that you're buying. So outsourcing call centers is something most companies do across the globe. This is also a huge opportunity for Bangladesh to actually run call centers, not only for companies in Bangladesh, but also international companies. And as such, I think we are stimulating outsourcing. Today we have some of our call center agents being outsourced, buying from partners in Bangladesh, companies in Bangladesh, and some of the call center being run by our own employees. And I think that combination is good, but over time, most companies will probably also in Bangladesh buy call center services from outsourced companies.
But I had talked with some people, they are not happy with customer service provider who are not directly part of Grameenphone.
I think we have very, very tight quality standards. All our partners do. So when you do this shift from in-house to outsource, a lot of the work is really about ensuring that they're well trained and that we have sort of performance indicators on how they're running the calls. We are monitoring the calls. We are following up with the training if there are agents that are not performing well. So I'm actually very happy with the call center quality we have in Grameenphone. And
that's your own call center, right?
No.
Not the third party?
The service that is provided to Grameenphone customers by our own staff and by the outsourced staff. The quality is good.
Okay. I agree on that fact that you are trying to say both are good. But don't you think the number of people who are working for this particular sector, because you have a huge customer, the number of customers is more than anybody in the country, like any other telecom operator, but the number of customer provider is less than the customers because they have to handle a lot of customers and they get panicked and different opinions, different complaints, different solutions, right? So are you working on this issue?
Yeah. And one of the most important measures we have in terms of customer satisfaction in Grameenphone is something we call Net Promoter Score. How likely is it that you will promote Grameenphone to some of your friends or family? Because it's only if you're very comfortable with yourself that you will actually recommend someone. And what we see is that this is increasing every year. And last year we had a significant increase in the people's likelihood to promote Grameenphone. And I believe there are many factors. One is we did upgrade the network. Mm-hmm. So we went from a more or less 2G network to a nationwide 3G network last year. So now most of our base stations have both 2G and 3G. That was a huge upgrade of quality. Secondly, we did a lot of simplification of our products because in the past people found Grameenphone to be a little bit tricky and complex. Mm-hmm. So we simplified our products to again avoid that people complained and had to call center to understand. And then we also upgraded the call center service. So all of these factors contributed to an increase in people actually recommending Grameenphone to friends and families, which we also saw in terms of growth of customers and growth of revenue. So I think we are in a very good state today when it comes to the service in general and in terms of how we serve the customers.
Okay, the discussion will be going on. It's time for our first break. দর্শক আমরা আলোচনা করছিলাম গ্রামীণফোন এবং তার কাস্টমারদের কিভাবে কি ধরনের সার্ভিস দিয়ে থাকে, সেই সার্ভিস আসলে কতটা কাস্টমারদের খুশি করতে পারে, এবং আমরা জানছিলাম পিটারের অভিজ্ঞতা, তারা আসলে কাস্টমারদের সার্ভিস দিয়ে কতটা খুশি হতে পেরেছে। আলোচনার এরপর যেটা বিরতি নিচ্ছি, ফিরছি একটু পরে, সাথে থাকুন।